Yo, what's good? Welcome to the Mentee channel where you'll learn skills that pay bills. I'm your host, G. Thank you for coming to learn today with me. First and foremost, high five to you, especially though, because hey, you kind of learned something new. And so definitely hit that like, subscribe button. We have a phenomenal guest for you today, the brother Morathi Howie of the Vegan Love Culture Shop. Vegan Vibe series. The brothers is dropping gems all the way through. We highly appreciate you, man. A lot of gratitude for you just being able to come through and drop the gems and, just getting everybody right, especially for this year that we're starting anew, so that we can be able to have the best year possible. And so overall, man, the number one skill that you can learn is, of course, how to master your health, because we all know that health is wealth. And so without further ado, I'm gonna let the brother Morathi go ahead and do what he do, and that's teach you the game. And hey, thank you, brother Morathi. Here you go.
Know in this society we live, I can adapt. And if I made it once, I know that I can make it back. What's opinions or a fact? I've been climbing. Now what they call procrastination, I see perfect timing. And coming where we from, no, not the city, but the bottom. No hope in resolutions when you know you was the problem. I told Dre it like I'm really done with lectures, so I done what's best for me. You ain't a failure for investing in your dreams. And when that day should come, I earned it all relentlessly.
Give us a backstory, and just let them know about yourself and just what brought you to start the vegan journey first and foremost, and really just embrace the vegan lifestyle. Because it's not even a journey for you no more. You constantly conquering.
Yeah. First and foremost, man, I like to give thanks and praises to the Creator, Yah, and the ancestors, man, for even putting me on this path at a time period where it wasn't the most easiest thing to go into the lifestyle. But I started back in around year 2000, 1999. I went to North Carolina Central University in Durham, North Carolina. Had a good friend of mine. I always like to give props to the guy that turned me into going vegan. My good brother by the name of Morathi Howie. That was from Charlotte, North Carolina. We were on our way to the calf. And while we was on our way to the calf, it was on Chicken Wednesdays. So Chicken Wednesdays and HBCUs, everybody that every school does this. Yes. Something big. They serve chicken in all the lines. Got a DJ out there. It's just amazing what they do. Yeah. So on our way there, he was like, "Man, I don't eat meat, right?" I was like, "Well, you don't eat meat?" I was like, "Well, what's the question that everybody else asked me or probably asked you is, well, what do you eat then?" And he got to break it down how only thing he eats is what comes out the earth. Genesis 1:29, where it speaks about that in the beginning of the Bible, and how eating meat could harm the body. And after watching or seeing what goes on in our community from soul food, what was happening as far as our uncles getting diabetes and high blood pressure problems, hypertension, all these other different things that was coming on, lupus, cancers. So we went to the calf, and when we went to the calf, I got my chicken. Sure enough, he got his vegetables, and we sat down and we had a long conversation. And I've always said that truth is verifiable. So when we hear truth, sometimes even if we don't want to hear it, it'll sit right resonate with our spirits. So we finished the conversation, and I went back to my dorm, and I was contemplating on what he had said. I contemplated for a very long time about what he was talking about. And then I went down that wonderland rabbit hole, and I started to discover certain things, and I started to think about what was going on in my family and what was affecting them. So then it turned me into the lifestyle, and from there it's been up from there. I always say this: the universe will bring to you what you're looking for. The universe is just, so even if it's bad things you're looking for, it's going to lead you there. You're looking for good things, it's going to lead you there. And at that time, you had Whole Foods over there at Duke University. So one thing led to another. I started going into the right circles and started showing me what to eat, and that's what kicked me off into the vegan lifestyle. And I've been vegan for 25 years. I just turned 45 on the 22nd of October.
25 years.
Yes.
And it's crazy that you turned into a vegan basically on Chicken Wednesday. You still ate the chicken that day, but like just to know that was kind of what sparked your journey right there. That's amazing. And that's another point to where it turns to like great friends, having great friends. Because a great friend can be either, well, you can have a great friend that can influence you multiple different ways. They can either use their influence to either teach you to do the wrong thing or teach you to do the right thing. And then this brother actually led you into a journey that took you on a 25-year path.
Yes.
Like, and for you to still remember that and still remember it like it was yesterday, like that's amazing.
Thank
So
you.
are you and your brother still friends?
Yeah, we're good friends. And ironically, he's not even vegan anymore. So, you know, that's how you know that I always think about this, like this path was actually created for me. And it was something that the creator put me on, because the brother that was into the lifestyle, he's no longer into the lifestyle. He still eats healthy and clean, but he's not a vegan anymore. So we always talk about that. It's the funniest thing, but it was a path that chose me.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Now you also do have an interesting history as far as like you've been to the motherland and like you've seen quite a bit of this world. And so like when did it turn to not, I wouldn't say a business per se, because it's really like a passion. But I mean, I know it's also your business as well. But like, when did it come to that point? Like, when did you start to think like, I'm gonna really start teaching my people about this?
Absolutely. I made a decision in 2006. I took a decision over the phone that landed me in Africa the next day. I had no clue that that's where I would be going. But I made a decision over the phone, and I had a day to tell family and friends I was leaving. I'd never been off of the continent, and sure enough, I was landed in Zimbabwe, Africa, the next day. And a 30-day visit ended up being 11 years for me there in Africa. And so, what happened was, whenever I was on my way back over here, in Africa, man, it's a very, very meditative state. Everything around you is meditative. You can just tap in at any time because it's so peaceful and calm. So I always say that's where I get my most righteous downloads in Africa. That's where my best ideas come. So I was in heavy meditation and prayer, and I asked the Creator, like, how can I continue to be a service to His people? And it came back clear as day, man, to still be an example for the vegan lifestyle. Be an example to show people how to eat, and let that be your platform. So from there, vegan love culture was formed. And vegan love culture means going back into the earth for your healing, for your health, and to unite the human families. And what I believe is that us as a people, or as a conglomerate of people, the more healthier we are, the better we eat, the better we treat each other. And it boils down to healthy people have healthy habits and are healthy towards other people. Unhealthy people produce unhealthy habits, and they're violent towards each other. So a lot of times in our community, especially in the African American community, the reason why we're dealing with so much violence and things that are going on is simply because we're unhealthy. It's simply because of what we're putting on our plates that's causing disease and causing us to feel bad. And feeling bad, that's the energy that you give off to other people. So I came over here in 2017, and I did 3 potlucks, 3 vegan potlucks in Kannapolis. Just letting people know what it was about, letting people, kind of exposing people to the lifestyle. They were all very dope, very, very successful. And then from there, by that time, I created a show called the Vegan Love Culture Show. And where you see a lot of people, a lot of bloggers now going around to different restaurants and stuff like that, I had started doing that in 2017, where I was going around through Charlotte and other areas, showing people the vegan lifestyle, going into different, interviewing owners and interviewing people, and like, hey, what are your vegan options? I did kava, I did mellow mushroom, I did ZZ's when ZZ's was open, Beltree. I did a few of them, just kind of exposing the lifestyle. So then from there, I was going to do an event in 2019 that was 2018 that was going to bring Tabitha Brown here when she first got started. When Donna was this small, me and Tabitha were very close. So, but my sponsorship fell through. So when my sponsorship fell through, I couldn't do my event. And Veg Veg Fest Charlotte. The head person of the Veg Fest reached out to me. She had been following me on Facebook and was like, "Hey, we would love to have you to come on to our board to help us with Veg Fest, because Veg Fest was a predominantly white event, and they wanted to get more of our people there." And she was like, "You would be the perfect person. We think that you would do well. We can help each other and help you to grow your platform and vice versa." So I started working with them for 2 years. But within that 2-year time, Beltry and them did their vegan soul food event, and they wanted me to host it. So me and my big sister, Morathi Howie, who's also the COO of our company, of Vegan Vibe Music Series, we hosted it, and we ended up bringing Tabitha off of that. Tabitha honored the money that I had already sent her. So Beltry paid the rest of the money, and we got her over here for that event. So when that event happened, it drew so many people, and people had thought that it was actually my event. But it wasn't. I was just a host. It was like, "Morathi, you're doing so well." And it was going up to Tabitha, and it was like, "Morathi, you're doing such a great job." So Tabitha would come to the side to me about 3 or 4 times in the event. She was like, "Morathi, you need to do your event. You need to do your own event. Everybody's coming up saying that they think this is your event." And and I'm like, you're doing a great job, but if you create it, the people will come. So that's where, at the end, me and my sister, after we got through hosting it, we went back home and we got to brainstorming. And my sister was like, "Why don't we do Vegan Vibe, call it Vegan Vibe Music Series, based off of music, not so preachy, not so having speakers, but more a thing that where people can feel like it's a family reunion thing." And we did that in 2019 at the Heist Brewery, and we've taken off ever since, man. So 2023, it'll be our 5th year in doing Vegan Vibe Music Series. So shout out to my big sister, Morathi Howie, and my cousin, Christy Williamson, who is the Chief Creative Officer. She deals with all our music, all our sound, making sure all that's set up, the run of show. So she's a big part of what we do too. And we're a family-owned company. Our children, they work, not volunteer, we pay them, but they're here, showing people where to go. So it's all family-based oriented.
That's awesome. That is big. I mean, that's big. You got to be a family-owned and operated company. Knowing this 5 years, like, congratulations.
Thank you.
For one, like, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger as it goes. Mm-hmm. And like, what do you think has made it so successful? Mm-hmm. Like, to this point, to be getting to this 5-year point. And I mean, now that you're paying your kids, and like, already starting that generational wealth pattern. Like, what do you think?
Man, it boiled down to what was instilled into us by our elders and the ones that were before us. The elders were always giving back in the community. They were always philanthropists to the community to make sure the community was held tight. So our mother, who was a big part of that, Jean Caldwell, we watched her for years, bring everybody together to go vote. Making sure that this was getting done in the community, make sure that was getting done. My mother made sure that in Shankertown, where we're from, there used to be no sidewalks. So my mom worked down in the city of Concord. She was the first black woman to ever have a major position down in the city of Concord. So her influence was able to get the city to come and put a sidewalk up through Shankertown right back there that we never had. So my mom was that driving force, and what we saw her being such a philanthropist to the community and giving back. One thing about sometimes when the torch comes to you, regardless if you're ready for the torch or not, when the elders step to the side, you're gonna take that torch, or you're just gonna let that torch fall to the side. Right. So fortunately for us, we were able to keep the torch up and keep going based off of what my mom and the other elders in the community had done. So what makes it successful is the love that me, my sister, and my cousin have for each other and our family, and seeing it from the perspective that we only want to reflect that love to everybody else and reciprocate that love to everybody else. We're givers first and foremost. My mother taught us to forgive, to give, and never to take. So we've always been givers, and so that the heart that we have for people, the character that we have for people, just being taught those principles of never crossing anybody in the wrong way. Always remembering what you do. Some of them will always remember how you really feel. and kind of putting that out there in every walk, everywhere we walk, and just remembering those principles that the elders taught us, man, to treat people the correct way, and things will go well for you. So that's what we would say. That's what success happens without people.
Beautiful.
Yes.
That's beautiful. And so it start with mom. Start with mom. And so that's another great lesson right there. Like parenting is such a big part that they speak about all over on social media, and it's always a conversation piece almost everywhere nowadays. And so like the impact that your mom had really like kind of like tailored and altered, well not altered, but like molded your life.
That's right.
And that's amazing, like that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And so like as far as the giving and not crossing people and the morals, do you think that's another reason why you decided that you would go into the vegan lifestyle, or was it more or less like you just how you felt? Because I mean, even after you did the research, you still had the option of being like, no, I don't want to do this. And then you even took it even further and said, I'm gonna start teaching my people.
Yes.
And so like for you to get started in that and never switch off of it, like what gave you that discipline and that drive, and like what made you say like this is it for me? Like
when you start doing research, right, and you start finding things out about dairy, start realizing that dairy causes eczema, it causes nosebleeds, causes earaches, causes allergies and mucus all through the body. I didn't realize what dairy was doing to my system because I was an athlete in high school. So I used to drink milk and stuff all the time, but I used to have the worst nosebleeds. I used to get eczema in the crevices of my arms and stuff like that. Had bad acne at times, and was just sluggish all the time. So when you started to do this research and see where African Americans are with 95% lactose intolerant, we don't even have the gene or the enzyme to break down that. We don't have the enzyme to do it. And when we're taking it, it's causing us to have the bubble guts, it's causing us to have asthma problems, flus, and all these things. So when I let go of dairy, I started seeing my skin started to clear up. I wasn't having those nosebleeds anymore, earaches or allergies and stuff like that. So when I came into the lifestyle, it was for health reasons. And then I learned more about, the animals and about what it does for the earth and how it makes you feel. So it was just a journey that I stepped into, but it all started from health reasons. So just wanted to be more healthier,
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And so, like, by you seeing how it made you feel, it made you be like, all right, I want to help people find this as well. And so, like, what would you say has been the most impactful story you came across since you started the journey as a teacher?
I have a few testimonies, man. I had a couple. Her husband he's a dentist, and he had some cyst pellets on his colon, and they were thinking they were going to be cancerous. And she had I talked to him and said, hey, Morathi's my friend. I've been following him for years, and he said about the plant-based lifestyle, how it reverses these issues. So they then took it serious and went to the lifestyle, and months on down the line, those pallets and cysts left off of his colon. Had a sister that was bedridden. She couldn't get up or do anything with her body, and by just powering her body with plants and powering her body with the Genesis 129 lifestyle, that's what I like to call it, where God says that you eat what comes from the trees, the seeds. I'm just paraphrasing Genesis the 129 lifestyle, and how excuse me.
You gotta get the butterfly tea. You gotta get it.
How it was reversing these issues. People that have arthritis issues, inflammation issues, getting rid of high blood pressure problems, leveling out A1C counts, the things that really target our community, that's detrimental for our community. I have so many of those stories, and people losing a lot of weight. You know what I mean? Getting their sexual organs back in order. You know what I mean? Being more actively sexually. We deal with impotency problems and erectile dysfunction problems. All this stuff is coming from what people are eating. So you know, I constantly get testimonies from people saying, hey, listen, you doing this helped me in this way. You know, you pushing this lifestyle really made me think about my health, and therefore I was able to change a lot of things for the better in my body.
Sure.
Yes.
And then speaking of like this, you doing this, like, and speaking of the tea as well, like, when did you come across the herbs and like add those to the lifestyle?
When I was always taking herbs ever since I was introduced into a circle of people that knew about that when I became vegan. So a lot of some Rastas and just spiritualist people that knew about these herbs and what these things do for the body. That's whenever I became aware of it. So that was in 1999, 2000. But when I went over to Africa, I then discovered the power of the African soil because of all those natural resources underneath the ground. So you got gold, platinum, diamonds, silver, copper, all these things that are underneath that ground there grows the vegetation on top. So a lot of people, when they think about Africa, they think about what's been stolen out of Africa. But there's something called the green gold that's there. That's the vegetation that grows on top. It's always been there. And how that nutrient-dense soil and what it does to grow that fruit or grow that vegetable. And therefore, that's why they're so strong. That's why COVID wasn't bothering them like that, because of them eating from that earth and always walking on the land and being in that sun like that. So I discovered moringa back in 2006, and there was a guy who had AIDS, and he was stripped up in his bed, basically a few days away from dying. So they put him on moringa. They interviewed his doctor, interviewed him, showed his before and after blood work. They put him on for 6 months, and then after 6 months, he was up out of the bed, wasn't a skeleton anymore, able to get around. And when they ran his blood, they could not detect the disease in his body anymore. So I don't tell people over here that it heals AIDS, but what I know these herbs do is help to alkaline the system out. When the system is alkaline, no disease can be in the body. So, moringa, baobab. I bring in something called soursop leaf. Soursop is one of the most powerful cancer-fighting leaf and fruit in the world. It's like giving the body chemotherapy times 4, but it only kills off your cancerous malignant sick cells, and it keeps your good cells and add on new cells. It's good for arthritis issues, high blood pressure, diabetes. It cleanses the lymphatic system, the blood. Very, very powerful leaf. I bring in this butterfly pea flower tea that reverses cysts, fibroids, excessive bleeding in women, cramping, hormonal disbalances. Is also good for men and for skin, for a feel-good tea, for any type of depression, diabetes, inflammation issues. Yeah, man. So when I discovered the herbs of Africa, and I always like to specifically speak about Africa because there's no other soil in the world like Africa because of those natural resources. So they bring in most of their moringa in from India, and like 99% of it comes in from India. Only a small amount comes from other places. So I like to distinguish the difference because I know the power of the soil in Africa and what the oil. That's why everybody's there trying to take all the natural resources out of there. So yeah, that's when I discovered. So I've been since 2006. I started bringing them over here to sell and get them to the community and making them a household name in 2015 to 2017.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is like mind blowing. Because like whenever my mom had gotten sick with COVID, like I still had some moringa left. And I felt great, like I felt awesome.
Yeah.
So, because I'm a strong advocate for your herbs, like a strong advocate because I love them.
Yes.
And how they make me feel and the energy and just like, it's a different type of feel than when you normally just feel like eating healthy and all of that. Like, and plus at the time I was also eating meat.
Yes.
But like still, it's like, it's a different type of feeling when you get those herbs in there. And my mom was feeling so down, and I'm a big advocate for at least get some smoothies in you. You know, you at least, if you're still gonna eat meat, at least still have, vegetables and fruit going into your diet. And so I told her, I said, Mom, just drink some smoothies and take this herb. Now I don't care what you do, like take this herb.
Yeah.
And like when I went back, it was no more, but she was feeling phenomenal. She was feeling phenomenal. My mom has diabetes.
Wow.
And so
Wow.
Anytime she gets sick, she gets sick. And like, so I was just like, man, if this can help her, like, I'm good. Like, I've seen enough. You know what I mean? So like, definitely, I didn't tell you this story until now, but like, definitely, I appreciate you for that. Because when you told me about the guy with being frail, and I was like, I thought about my mom. Like,
Wow.
I did make sure that she had that, and it was phenomenal for her. Like,
That's amazing.
She jobs and everything back there alone with stuff.
Wow.
I want to say about 2-3 days.
That's all right, man. That's all right, man. That's all right.
And that's quick for her, because normally it take her about a few weeks to bounce back.
To bounce back. Wow. Well, in Revelation 22:2, it says that the herbs are for the healing of the nations, and we are all part of that nation. So it always speaks to the herbs in the Bible. It talks about the plants of renown, really meaning to renew, and that's what these herbs do from Africa, especially moringa and other things like that. Your CMOS gel, our company Kikoboni, what CMOS does for the body. We have to realize that we come from the earth, and the more that we eat from the place in which we come from, the better our bodies are going to feel, because we let out so many nutrients and so many of our minerals out throughout life. If you're not replenishing your body with those minerals that you're letting out, your body's deteriorating on you. And that's where eating from the earth, from the source in which you came from, whether it's herbs or eating the plant-based lifestyle or the vegan lifestyle, it all will coincide with helping your body to build up and to be strong, to be able to deal with dis-ease or to be dis-ease-free by just putting the right things in your system.
And I like how you put that, how you coined that dis-ease. So kind of like, because you know words are powerful.
That's right.
Like what made you, like, what made you frame it like that, or like phrase it like that?
Well, just through the knowledge of certain books, man. Queen Afua. There's a lot of elders that have put this information out here, and it's been at disposal to us for a very, very long time. It's just that we never tapped into it, you know. And before social media came, you had to go pick that book up and read that book, you know, or it was a cassette tape or something like that. But you know, Dr. Lalo Africa, may he rest in eternal peace forever. Dick Gregory, Dr. Sabi, Dr. Drew Pulcrum, I said Queen Afua and what she does, and other health and wellness. Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he came out with the book How to Eat to Live. That was one of the first books that came out to be able to teach our people how to eat the correct way, and so many more. And shout out to my big brother, Dr. Lamar Edward Price, who's a younger brother, older than me, but he's young still, that goes around and pushes his lifestyle and teaches about the alkaline system. He's an iridologist. He can look you in your eye retina and tell you what's going on, where the mucus and acid buildup is in your body, to get rid of that out of your system. So he's one of the guys that I always refer to, and I send a lot of people there. If I don't know, I'm gonna send you to somebody that does know, because I'm gonna be a resource for you. You know what I mean? So if I'm not the resource directly, yeah, I have somebody that can help you out.
Sure, I'm gonna have to get that book list from you, man.
Okay.
Get that library, because definitely they say like if you want to hide information, they hide it within books.
That's right.
So I'm definitely on a journey to be educated right now. Because at the end of the day, it's all about knowledge. Knowledge is power, and you know, just learning everything that you can and as much as you can every single day is key. Because I mean, at the end of the day, you woke up this morning, you got a brain, you're able to think in your right mind. And so you might as well utilize it to pour the right things into yourself.
That's right.
And so, like, just looking at that, you're 45 years old. There's some people that like are broken down right now at 45 years old. Like, you look about 30, man. Like, and so, like, is that from the lifestyle, or speak to it a little bit?
Yeah, it's definitely a lifestyle because I've figured out what a fountain of youth is, and it's in Mother Earth. And when we eat from there, we regenerate ourselves. It's all about going back into the source, right? Ever seen those movies where they be like, somebody will go to like a waterfall, and they dip down into the waterfall, and then when they come up, it's like they have this, the movie might be kind of fictional and they come out and they're younger and things of that nature. Well, it's not a fictional thing, you know. Going to these certain caves and certain areas like that generate all of this electromagnetic pulls, because we're nothing but electricity. That's the reason why when we were younger, we could rub our feet and touch somebody, and you shock somebody. Yep. They have diaphragms of the brain where it's just electricity just coming off the brain. It's coming off the brain. So our earth, the earth is our source, and we're connected to it every day. We have to walk on it every day. And so going back there and putting only plants into the system, only putting life into the body instead of death into your body, every life exudes off of you. So you start to get a light, you know, your skin clears up. Everything, our melanin just starts to shine. And I can only correlate that to what I'm eating. Now, we do have some great genes. My mother and my father, my mom does not look 70 years old. So we have good genes as well, but there's also people in my family that they're not, even though we have good genes, you can see where they're failing just because of their lifestyle and what they practice, you know what I mean? So I definitely would give this, my lifestyle, the vegan plant-based lifestyle, the key to me being able to maintain and stop aging, basically, you know what I mean? So be able to still do when I was 18, 19, 20 years old, I could do it, you know, and do even at a better rate now, but actually my body feels better than I did back then, because back then, nosebleeds, allergies, waking up with headaches and catching the flu here, and I was like, you know, just getting sick for no reason. All that changed once I realized what I was supposed to be eating. So therefore, at 45, where I don't get sick, I don't have these problems. If I do get sick, it's for 1 or 2 days, and I'm back up. Back then, I couldn't do that. Even at my strongest, you know, because 18 to 20 something years old, you're probably at your strongest, but my body was unhealthy because of what I was eating.
You said, because you just said like you can kind of do it more at a better rate, like, and so would you suggest someone, regardless, I'm pretty sure you would say start it at any time if you feel like it's something that you can do, right? And so where would you say someone gets started at?
I would tell people to start with Meatless Mondays. I do something called the Meatless Monday movement. I've been doing it since 2017. I don't advertise as much, but I always tell people, hey, Meatless Mondays. Because it is a journey for everybody. Everybody's not going to just jump into something cold turkey or whatever. However, when people say that you got to stop cold turkey, even if you do something gradually, the day you stop is the day you stop. So it doesn't matter if you let go of this at that time or that time. The day you stop, it's cold turkey. When you made up your mind you're not going to do it anymore, it's always cold turkey. Yeah, it might not be like, okay, I'm just leaving it all alone at one time, but once you stop, that's it. So doing Meatless Mondays, we got 53 Mondays in a year. So good health is all about accumulation, and bad health is about accumulation. You accumulate this bad health over time because of the same things, the same habits, the same actions, the same food consumption, and so therefore the end result is out of those bad habits, after they've built up enough, disease is in the body. The same with good health. Good health is about accumulation, so taking 53 Mondays out the year and just going meatless for those days out the year, where you think your health would be by the time you're at the end of the year, because you decided just to go for how many meals you eat throughout the day. If you do three meals a day, making them all meatless, the amount of vegetables and things you can get into your system that accumulates over time. So Meatless Monday may lead somebody to do it 2 or 3 times out the week. It's led some people to become all the way vegan. But the most important thing is us remembering that we have to put more fruits and vegetables in our system and eat more from the earth. So I would tell somebody to start with Meatless Mondays. You got a family, it's something you can do with your family together, you get what I'm saying? And it can be something where everybody has to come together and be conglomerate, and then just go from there. So Meatless Mondays is what I would tell people to start.
Sure. Yes. I mean, just for the most part, like anything else that you're like working on or would like to promote real quick, just while we're at it, because I mean, I want to thank you for your time, for sure, and the knowledge that you dropped on us and dropped on me off of the camera as well, because man, you giving me so many gems and so much knowledge, and I just want to thank you for just taking the time and, you know, allowing me to be your mentee. and learn from you, because I mean this is a journey in itself. You know, I grew up fat back and you know baking, and I was a baking advocate, like baking crazy. But like just overall, just growing and just realizing like you know plant based and just realizing that Mother Earth is the best mother overall in a way, because she feeds us and nurtures us the best.
It's our original mother.
For real.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
So like.
We definitely will be kicking off Vegan Bob Music Series. It will start in May of 2023. More than likely, we'll be at the Kannapolis Stadium, most of them, the Cannonball Stadium this year. So we'll keep people informed in that. People can also find our CMOS, Kikaboni CMOS, which means organic in Swahili, actually in More Juice Vibes in this beautiful, beautiful establishment right here. More Juice Vibes in this establishment right here. You can get our CMOS gummies from over there. We have those over there. We have them at Oh My Soul in Charlotte, the Oh My Soul, the vegan restaurant. We have the CMOS gel there and the CMOS gummies. And at Queen City Grounds off of 644 North Church Street. You can find it there, or you can go to kikaboni.com to get our CMOS. People can follow me on my Facebook page, Morathi Howie, or Instagram page, which is H Morathi on Instagram. They stole my Instagram. Somebody hacked my page. I had to start over. On Instagram, Vegan Vibe Series. You can follow us on Instagram. On Facebook, it's Vegan Vibe Music Series. Our website is veganvibemusicseries.com. And man, I appreciate you having me, man. I'll leave with a jewel. I always say that one thing that I'm big on is when we speak about generational wealth. My thing is that we can't have generational wealth until we concentrate on having generational good health. Because how are we going to pass this down to generations when we're passing away at 40 and 50 years old? Or we don't have the energy to go out here and show these kids what to do, these babies what to do. So we can't start talking about generational wealth until we tackle having generational good health. When we're here long enough to pass this knowledge down to our children and pass down this generational wealth to the children. Because if we pass away at 50 and a child, say the child gets a insurance from a parent passing away, they get $1.5 million at 18 years old. Who's going to direct that child when that child gets it? Because it says that our brains don't develop fully to make the right decisions until the age of 24. That's the reason why they don't let you rent a car until you're 24 years old, because they know that. So if a child at 18 years old that is nowhere near an adult, if they got $1.5 million after the parents have passed away from bad health, who's going to teach that child how to deal with that money? Where the dad could have been, dad may have been the best financial guy that you ever met, but didn't know to put that bacon down, didn't know to put that pork down, didn't know to put that red meat down, and died from heart disease or heart failure or heart attacks. What about the mother? She could have been the best lawyer or whatever the case may be, but she passed away from the same health problem. Where we have, the Bible says that we perish from a lack of knowledge. In the African American community, especially the African American woman, she's the most intelligent. She has the most degrees out of everybody in America. But that's book knowledge that you get from the universities. But we lead in every health-related disease in America. So we're not perishing because we're not getting good education. We're perishing because we don't have God's knowledge, Yah's knowledge. We should know how to eat, how to take care of the body, the correct herbs to put in the system. That's what people are perishing from, and that's what people have to understand. We have the knowledge, we have all the education that we need.
So once you can take control of your diet and start thinking differently, and start being able to tap into different parts of your body and your mind, then you can really start to do and go after the things that you want. And I mean, granted, some people do still go after their dreams and still accomplish things even eating unhealthy. But however, when they get there, they still don't feel well.
That's right.
Still don't get to really enjoy them. And really being able to acquire life-changing love is really a health type of issue. So, a journey really. So, I mean, you're completely right, and thank you for taking the time. I know you're extremely busy. And where can they get those herbs from too as well?
You get the herbs from my website. It's THEVLC, which is Vegan Love Culture, shop.com. So THEVLC shop.com. You can find them on my website there.
Awesome. So I thank you for being on here today. Appreciate you being a part of the Mentee. We definitely would love to see you and have you again.
Yes.
And thank you. And again, hey y'all, tap in with Brother Morathi. Remember, appreciate today, every day.
I appreciate you. I appreciate the hoodie too.
Appreciate you.
Now let the beat build up.